I hate to tell you this because it's more of your tax money and my tax money flushed down the toilet, but the whole reflecting pool thing has become a real fiasco in Washington, D.C. I'll remind you that Donald Trump decided that on an emergency basis, we must drain the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool and repaint or add a liner to the bottom that will be American flag blue. Part of what Trump didn't like was that the water was green. It was filled with algae and it didn't look good. It's unbecoming of the United States. Well, after it all took place, after a $1.5 million project turned into $14 million and it was done and it was beautiful, over the weekend, people noticed, damn, it's looking green again. The algae is back. So they were telling us, no, that's just residual algae from the pipes and it's going to be gone and we're treating it. And we have a picture from yesterday morning. It is greener than the Boston Celtics parquet floor edges at the TD Bank North Garden. I don't know. It's greener than a leprechaun. It is green, and it is happening again. And video was captured of workers dumping hydrogen peroxide into the reflecting pool. There's a couple really funny things about this. One is this guy's got some gallon bottles. Look at the size of the reflecting pool. There was some math done about like you would need thousands of liters to kill the algae that is in this thing. They can't do anything right, and they're just dumping in little gallon bottles of this stuff. So CNN actually went and collected some of the water to have it tested, and it's all just totally embarrassing and humiliating.
And we're going to scoop up a water sample to see if we can get this tested.
Look at this.
CNN independently took the sample of water and consulted with a pool store that regularly tests water to help read the results. It showed phosphate levels far higher than what is recommended to keep algae at bay based on estimates for a pool that holds 6.5 million gallons of water.
If there's already some phosphate fertilizer in the water, that's really opportunistic, especially for the blue-green algae that can fix nitrogen. So they are having a field day out here, probably.
The Department of Interior says they believe some of the initial problem was residual algae that had accumulated in pipes and insists the filtration system called the ozone nanobubbler is working.
Yeah, this is just so, it's like, as I said yesterday, the whole project is embarrassing enough. The no bid contract is embarrassing enough. The fact that Trump brags about the project by comparing the length of the pool, which he didn't build, he just repainted the bottom. Trump goes, this pool is longer than many buildings are tall. And it's like, cool, my finger's bigger than an ant. What does it matter? All of that would be bad enough. But then the thing just, it looks like crap. It's all green. It's greener than it ever has been. So the algae is a funny story. It's not really the story. The story is spending millions and ending up where you started. So sorry, quick interruption. I just checked, and a shocking number of people who watch our channel aren't subscribed. Millions. If you're one of those millions, take a second, hit subscribe now. We're closing in on 4 million, and every subscription helps. Let's get back to the clip. We spent billions in Iran, and we're ending up worse than where we started. We've spent 14, 15 million on the reflecting pool, and it's ending up in exactly the place where it started. And seeing people dump in chemicals is like a metaphor for this administration. They do, like, what can we visibly do? Let's get guys there with gallon bottles and dump them in, rather than let's be thoughtful. Let's meet and do due diligence and go through the correct processes for these things. And the more that they publicly try to fix this thing, it becomes more and more obvious that the original fix failed. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up having to dump in millions more in order to try to really deal with this algae issue, because it's not residual algae or phosphate or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens and it just ends up coming out of our pockets again, because this is all taxpayer money that's going to this. Think back, close your eyes for a second. Think if a Democratic mayor, spent $15 million on this in a city and it failed in days. right-wingers would be going, this is the scourge of Democrat cities and left-wing mayors screwing up and wasting money, and it's embarrassing and they should be fired. The project was supposed to be like a symbol of how competent we are. Very quickly, I'm so good at pools. I've built many pools. I've built buildings. This is my area of expertise, is what Donald Trump said. And it's become another one of these symbols of wasting taxpayer money, over-promising, under-delivering, and ending up much like with Iran after spending a ton of money where we were or in an even worse place. Now, bigger picture, did anyone really care about the state of the reflecting pool? Now, I let me make that comment a little clearer. Of course, I think one of the great things to be proud about a country is look at our cities. Look at these great cities, public transit and housing, restaurants, cultural institutions, all this different stuff. Great. I love it. But was the reflecting pool specifically, the algae, the color, was this really something that people were using to evaluate the state of Washington, D.C. or the state of infrastructure or whatever? It was, they used an emergency process to do this, and it was barely on the radar of anybody. So another pathetic failure for the Trump administration. This is Trump's area of expertise. Foreign policy he's not so good at. Building pools and structures and rebar and all of the stuff he's an expert in. And it is another pathetic failure.